All right, excellent. We are live here once again, gateway to the best
Indeed, in St. Louis County.
county
That's-
in Baldwin,
That-
Missouri.
That's exactly correct. We will see the Dallas Deception take on Puget Sound Outcast Derby
Well,
here as the last bout on the first day.
this has been a very exciting day for flat track derby, for men's flat track derby, of course, in particular. I am Val Capone, and I am joined by one of my sisters from another mister. Very excited to call a game with Spider.
Well, hello, I'm excited too. And speaking of which, I'm excited about this game, so we're going to get it started right off with Chuck Hendrick donning the star here for the Puget Sound Outcasts.
And who do we got jamming for Dallas? That's number 7, Frankenbeans.
Frankenbean struggling to get around Ryrad with a nice shove out there on the straightaway.
And we have a lead jammer for the first jam in blue, Hollywood Chuck Hendrick.
Chuck Hendrick now quickly making his way back to the pack.
Wow, Frankenbeans taking some serious hits from all the Puget Sound blockers, but they're just bouncing right off him.
Magnum eats pie with a genius hit to the infield on Hollywood Chuck.
Yeah, that was a tuck and roll right there.
And here we go, Hollywood pulling through on his scoring pass. Oh, no. Yep, that is a scoring pass, the 5-point pass here with 29 minutes, 9 seconds left on the first period clock. And if you're just tuning in, Puget Sound Outcasts are wearing the blue with yellow accents. Dallas Deception are in the black and red.
Red and black, I love it. It's a 5 on the board for Puget Sound, 0 for Dallas. We have just under 29 minutes left in the game, or in the first period, excuse me. Whew, my brain has already melted.
So
The last Puget Sound game that I called today was a barn burner. As you know, you did the house call. Boy, that sure was intense.
Indeed,
Magic City.
Indeed, and you know, kind of a hard loss for Puget Sound Outcasts. So coming back in this really to prove why they are in the top 8 and looking to hold on to that 5th seed position as they leave this tournament.
Certainly. Number 88 in red and black, Dallas Deception. That is Ninja Please. He picked up lead jammer. Did he get any points? Let's see. No, that's going to be a 0-0 call, but it's an excellent move on the part of Ninja Please because who is jamming for Puget but Speed Dealer?
Right. And the Outcasts doing a nice job as they all move all their skaters to the front of the pack to protect those points, so making it much more difficult as they employ speed to use that agility and speed to force them to call it off.
Exactly. And Puget Sound is very, very good at, as you said, points protection. They're a very fast, agile league. Wow, look at this maneuver right here. They're going to psych you out, start at the front, but move quickly to the back. Now they're lined up on the jam line. Everybody's taking a knee except for Thunderstruck, who's taken some chest hits from Uncle Jesse McNasty himself of Dallas Deception. Oh, jamming from Dallas is my new personal hero. Look at him go. You'll see why I'm mildly in love with Dr. Feelgood. Okay, majorly, let's be honest.
Ryrad picking up a low block majors. He heads to the penalty box. He is the pivot for the Outcasts. Scotty Slamilton, 10.0, making his way through on his initial pass. Oh, huge takeout. Wow.
All right, he got 2 points, picked up Dr. Feelgood. Wasn't feeling too good from the floor, so he called that jam with a quickness. One of the reasons why I really, really admire that skater is that he's a relatively new skater to the world of flat track roller derby. But that man has some seriously agile feet. He masters a toe stop like no other. I did actually corner him by the snack table. I said, "I'm sorry, sir, I have to meet you. What is your deal? What toe stops do you use? If I put them all over, will I be as good as you?" He just looked at me bewildered. I don't blame him.
It would be an interesting look for you.
It sure would.
Look. We have Speed Dealer making his way right around turn 1 to pick up lead jammer status on behalf of the Outcasts. You have Radillac trying to connect up at the front with 666 Rhino.
One of the original Dallas Deception skaters jamming for the DDs.
Speed Dealer gets forced out of bounds and forced to call it off, but he does pick up 1 point to put on the scoreboard. We do have the Outcasts sitting at 6 points, Dallas at 3 with 26 minutes, 11 seconds left on the first period clock. At Rydell, skate, design, performance, comfort, and fit are challenged on a daily basis. Stop by, actually check out their website to learn why their boots are the choice of top skaters everywhere.
Why they are considered to be unmatched quality and also unmatched performance. And you could get unmatched skates. You could get custom skates.
You could.
We'll talk about the color lab later, but let's get back to the action on the track. looks like a little gathering on the knees out there. And I believe that's Ramthrax, number 90, jamming for Dallas Deception.
Stand aside number 4, jamming for the Outcasts. Earl McDonald and Quadzilla working the center of the pack. It is Earl Slick. It says it on his jersey. But the roster says Earl McDonald.
True story. That's his given name. I told him I refused to call him that. But it's Earl Slick or McDonald seriously took out Ramthrax. Ramthrax, however, is going in the penalty box. We got to see what the call is on that.
This creates a power jam in favor of the Outcast. Stand aside trying to stay in bounds, and he takes a topple over the last line of defense, number 14, Peter Pandemonium.
Wow.
Oh.
Now this is an interesting call. I'm not necessarily going to argue it, but I am kind of surprised to see the outcome. Stand aside, as you said, took a tumble over number 14, Peter Pandemonium, and in the process took down number 13, Beast Jerky. Was sent to the box for a low block major. I was kind of surprised that that call didn't go to Peter Pandemonium, honestly. But fighting out of the box now is Ramthrax. Ramthrax is dancing at the top with Ryrod, the pivot of Puget Sound. Quadzilla has to let him go. He's out of the pack now. He's eligible to score points, but of course he cannot be lead jammer.
Mo Diesel was trying to bridge the pack, but it wasn't enough. He was creating a larger group of pack members with the 4 Deception skaters and himself, so the skaters, of course, will let him go. And now we have the jammer for the Deception playing through for a full 5 points.
And Stand Aside is now out of the sin bin. Ramthrax approaching the back of the pack, basically riding the Quadzilla train. Out of the pack now, Stand Aside with his nice pink laces, a little bit of breast cancer awareness on the part of Puget Sound Outcasts.
We have a 3-wall up in front. Wacko Path, Peter Pandemonium, and now it all moved and changed on me. Oh, another hop there. Quadzilla trying to hop over Peter Pandemonium.
Yeah, and Bulk Bogan was the first skater to go down and kind of cause that little pile-up action. Kind of like Domino Rally just happened before our very eyes.
Eric heading, he's having a conversation. He's the coach for the Puget Sound Outcasts as Sugar Daddy head ref for this bout.
We have 23 minutes and 23 seconds. Look at that. 7 on the board for Puget Sound, but 13 for Dallas. In that last jam, there was a huge lead change. Nice work by Ramthrax, picking up 10 points. Magnum
Eats Pie holding the front line. Radillac then stance right behind him, or in front of him because he was turned backwards, but you know, same difference.
Same difference. Uncle Jesse McNasty rocking the jam star once again, dancing at the back of the pack with Hollywood Chuck Hendrick as Scotty Slamilton, 10.0, otherwise known as 100.
Scott Slamilton trying to pirouette on turn 3. He is successful. He gets through, picks up lead jammer status. Huge tumble at the back of the pack for Bonus Jonas, the pivot for the Outcasts. Now we have Scott Slamilton trying to go through on his scoring pass. He gets knocked around by the pivot there. Number 986, Dr. Feelgood. Oh, huge takedown to the infield by 96, Chuck Rydell.
Chuck Rydell rocking some Rydells. Bonus Jonas is kind of holding his face. I'm hoping that he's all right, but you know, he is a rather shorter player for Puget Sound compared to Biggie Talls, excuse me, as they skated off the track. I was like,
because he's 6'11" on his skates.
Yes, we went over that earlier. The height of my father, flat foot. Did you know that?
I did.
Oh yes.
It's true.
Oh, we've talked about this, haven't we?
So Puget Sound Outcast going to field speed dealer number 53 as a jammer. Cougar Bait with a nice assist to the infield on the jammer for the Deception. That's Rhino.
Rhino 666. Nice takeout by Dick Diamond. Taking Speed Dealer to the outside. Rhino's going to be out first, but he's not going to be lead jammer. It's going to be Speed who's going to try to fight him for being out ahead. Nah, you know what? I'm going to call the jam, Speed says.
I think that's pretty wise, reserving that, because with so much time on the clock, 21 minutes, 30 seconds, you want to reserve some of that energy as you go into the second half. And
certainly,
they're only trailing by 2 points now.
Which really, I mean, 2 points is next to nothing, as it were.
Except for at the end.
Oy vey.
Then that means something.
Then it means you lost by 2. All right, so on the line, who do we got out there? I want to say that's Dr. Feelgood. No, I'm sorry. No, I see an 8 on his jersey. That's Ninja Please.
It's Ryrod number 14, jamming for the Outcast. He's going to skirt around on the outside to pick up lead jammer status for the Outcast. Mo Diesel, number 67. It's actually 67 liters, Mo Diesel. With Quadzilla now moving to the front of the pack as the pivot for the Outcasts.
Number 88 being Ninja Please being taken out by 247 Hendrick.
And Ryrod with 5 points on that scoring pass. He's going to hit the back of the pack. You have Mo Diesel and Chuck Hendrick hold the back of the pack. Chuck then recycling to the front, then just getting knocked around in the center of the pack. Ryrod taken out with a huge hit.
Yeah, that's Bulk Bogan. Very physical, very aggressive player. I got to love that. So I was talking to Ryrod just before this game, and, you know, he kind of had a little sad face. You know, he was bummed that they didn't beat Magic City, but he was like, we're going to have a really good game against Dallas. It's going to be awesome. I said, well, you better give me a lot of good stuff to talk about. And he said, oh, I'm going to jam a lot. I'm going to tell Jim to make me jam a lot so I can bounce around for you. And he's doing an excellent job of doing just that.
Yeah. Grim Streeper.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Grim
doing
Streeper.
The lineup for the Outcasts.
Oh, and hello to Streakerella.
Wow, Ryrod taking a hefty hit. Powerful, powerful play here as Puget Sound pulls to 25. Dallas sits at 13 with 19 minutes, 36 seconds left on the first period clock. Chuck Hendrick sitting in the penalty box.
Oh, look at that. He wanted us to mention him. Now he's waving to us to say hi, that he's sending us kisses from the penalty box.
It's as if he had ESP.
It's like as if I may have told him before the start of the game, stay out of the box. And now he wanted to prove me wrong. That man is stubborn.
Yeah.
So now we have Dr. Feelgood. Look at him sneaking down low, trying to break through that hole. He actually, I believe, was a football player prior to playing roller derby. He's brand new to flat track, but trucking through, man. Oh, beautiful.
Working out on his behalf, if that is in fact the case. He got really low, tried to just slip through, finally pulls around. Cougar Bait standing on one skate. He's going to try to pull around. He is going to pull around as Peter Pandemonium takes a spill, providing some room, but that's only his initial pass.
Exactly, and both these jammers are relatively new to the sport of roller derby. I always forget that when I watch Cougar Bait skate because he is such a phenomenal skater. And look at Dr. Feelgood just barreling through, takes a slide, jumps back up, but calls a jam. Meanwhile, picked up 4 points for Dallas.
Bonus Jonas with a nice little hit there, making him wobbly enough that he actually slipped across the track.
Yeah, he sure did.
On his booty. Green Monster Roller Sports.
No vowels needed.
That's correct. Makers of Antic Skate Boots, Gumball Toe Stops.
Which is what Dr. Feelgood uses.
Reckless Wheels and Moto Bearings. Green Monster, instigators of the next big thing in Derby.
They certainly are instigators, I'll tell you what.
That Quadzilla.
Always instigating. And we got Ramthrax out on the line for Dallas Deception.
Oh, with Speed Dealers, he just makes easy use of the middle of the pack, and he pulls around Beast Stricky on his right to take lead jammer status on behalf of the Outcasts.
Now Earl Slick was dancing up at the top of the pack. Beautiful pirouette onto the toe stops of Earl Slick, trapping Ramthrax in the middle of the action.
Nice move by Rhino there as he gives his jammer an assist and creates a window on the inside line. Thunderstruck trying to get out in front of Magnum Eats Pie.
Ramthrax is now out of the pack and eligible to score, but Speed Dealer sees that and is dealing with a wall of red, trying to get past Rhino, who forces Speed into the infield. Speed calls a jam, says Grim Streeper.
And that's 5 points on the scoreboard for Speed Dealer, number 53. 17 minutes, 7 seconds left on the first period clock. You have 30 points on the board for the Outcasts. Dallas Deception at 13. Outcasts been able to hold on to that momentum and put some points on the scoreboard as the Deception there was a lead change, and the Outcasts have been able to hold on to that.
Yeah, there was that slight lead change, but nice work by the Outcasts to switch it back in their favor.
Chuck Hendrick, the pivot now for the Outcasts with a huge shoulder check.
Perfect.
Just laying out Ninja Please. It's like you read my mind. And Ninja Please picking up a cutting the track major. This is a power jam in favor of the Outcast, and that is Scott Slamilton 10.0, otherwise known as Andrew. You're right. Scott Slamilton just going to try to power through. He gets knocked out on the straightaway. Nice.
Yeah, forced out by, I believe that's Chuck Rydell.
Scotty Slamilton now trying to get around Frankenbeans.
Yeah.
As Bulk Brogan moves to the front of the pack. Try to stop Scott Slamilton. Scott Slamilton is going to pull through for the full 5 points. 5 more points on the scoreboard for the Outcasts. Nice wall up in front by Dallas Deception. Gino Guerrero tries to get in there and break that up along with stand aside number 4. Nice move to the inside. Chuck Hendrick knocks in Wacko Path, number 12 for the Deception.
Now, I didn't even notice what had happened. I was looking for the star, and Ninja Please somehow ended up in the penalty box. Not quite sure what the call was on that. It was a track cut. Okay, thank you for the clarification. So we have 17 on the board for Dallas, 40 for Puget, 15-18 left on the clock. Just want to say thank you to Matomic. I was asking earlier, like, what is Dr. Feelgood's deal? He is crazy sick with his toe stops. How is he so agile? So Matomic sent me a little message saying Feelgood has only been playing with Deception for a season, just one season. He's 21 years old, and he played high school football, and he works at Sonic. I'm assuming as a roller skate server. So he's very agile on his feet. And you can watch this Ninja Please trying to fight through with some agility through the pack.
Speed Dealer is going to make his way through first pickup lead jammer status on behalf of the Outcast. Ninja Please now going to take on Bonus Jonas, number 56 for the Outcast, last line of defense. Ryrod recycling to the front, as well as Dewey Decimator, number 306 for the Deception. We are going to have Bonus Jonas headed to the penalty box. Speed Dealer pulls through for, is that 3 or 4 points?
I believe that's 4 points, my dear.
Why, thank you.
Why, you're welcome. All right, so 14-14 left on the clock. 17 for Dallas, 44 for Puget. We got Thunderstruck out on the line for the boys in blue. And who is he taking on? Why, Dr. Feelgood.
We have Dick Diamond in the pack in the middle there for the Deception. And they all turn around and face their opponents. Earl McDonald tries to get out in front. Thunderstruck right behind the Deception's jammer, Dr. Feelgood.
Dr. Feelgood wasn't feeling so good about Thunderstruck passing him up, so he called the jam immediately.
Yes. Wise decision.
Yes, for such a young player, it's smart. He's learning a lot, as is Cougar Bait. We mentioned Cougar Bait is a relatively new to Derby skater.
Mm-hmm.
It's great to watch the progression of the athlete throughout the tournament. Watching how they come in, maybe a little green, maybe a little hesitant, but watching those two in particular just barreling through, taking lots of chances. You know, sometimes they don't connect quite right, but when they do connect, it's beautiful to watch them navigate the pack the way they do. And we have number 18, Uncle Jesse McNasty, sneaking past Gino Evil, duking it out with Scott Slamilton up at the top of the pack. Jesse's going to get out first for lead jammer for Dallas Deception.
Chuck Hendrick getting hung up behind 712 Bulk Brogan. He gets just knocked out of bounds there on turn 4.
Wow! Uncle Jesse McNasty did a double 360 and stayed in bounds. Unfortunately, Chuck Hendrick did get past the pack on that time, but it is his initial pass. However, Uncle Jesse McNasty is scoring. Let's see how many points he picked up.
Good news for Dallas.
That was pretty excellent. Oh, he's smiling. He just skated right past us and smiled big because he knows that was a good feeling. You know, we did see him get utilized as a jammer earlier today, but primarily he seems to be a very strong pack player. So it's really excellent to watch the skaters transition from one position that is probably more comfortable for them to something like jamming, and watching their basic skills of the phenomenal footwork that Dallas has translate to both positions. Because often, you know, when you're playing a different position, you kind of lose your basics because you're so concerned about, I have to jam now, you know. So we got 2 new jammers out there. That's Ramthrax, number 90 for Dallas Deception, facing off against Speed Dealer, number 35 for Puget Sound.
Radillac working at the front of the pack. With Cougar Bait, Speed Dealer is going to pull through the pack first, but right behind him is Ramthrax. Speed Dealer with a nice assist out of bounds there on Ramthrax, and then he pulls through to take a lead, and it works out quite nicely as Radillac pulls back to knock him around a bit. Earl McDonald, Cougar Bait at the front of the pack. Ramthrax getting pushed to the infield once again. Radillac taking a spill. Speed Dealer going to get through that window. Bonus Jonas there at the front trying to positionally block Ramthrax.
Using Speed Dealer as an anchor, though. I love that kind of blocking when your jammer slows down just enough to kind of turn into a defense move.
my guess.
Bonus Jonas is going to try to get back up. He's doing all right. Just took a second, a little bit of a stinger. Rhino is in the penalty box to pivot for Dallas Deception.
Excellent teamwork there as Bonus Jonas does recover. And we have another shutout on Ramthrax on the close straightaway. Frank and Beans now being sent to the penalty box for the Dallas Deception. Wearing the red and black, Speed Dealer with the grand slam. 5 more points on the scoreboard for the Outcasts. Kruger Bait, Earl McDonald, Bonus Jonas.
Speed Dealer doing a little fancy footwork just for you, Spider.
I think that might have been for the fans here. And
the fans all around the globe.
That's absolutely right. And we appreciate everybody tuning in here to Derby News Network.
Yeah, you know, I'm a big fan of the Derby fans that tune in to Derby News Network. Speed
Dealer now gonna juke to the left around Peter Pandemonium and pick up 5 points. That's gonna increase the lead for the Outcasts over the Dallas Deception. Outcasts currently sitting at 64, Dallas Deception at 21 with 9 minutes, 55 seconds left on the first period clock. As that jam comes to an end, a team timeout is now being utilized for the Dallas Deception. If you want new skates and you want them to be your dream skates, you can create those with Rydell's exclusive Color Lab custom color program at roller.rydellskates.com. And as we continue in this timeout, you know, we are using Ringster here for scoreboard and things of that nature. You can use Ringster to record and publish roller derby statistics in real time. If you'd like to learn more, please visit www.ringster.com. That's RINXTR.com. 64 to 21. You know, about a 40-point difference, give or take a few. And Dallas Deception regrouping here as they take that timeout. We'll see if that shift and taking that minute could change the momentum for the Dallas Deception. We are going to have Quadzilla donning the star here. Number 23 is the jammer for Puget Sound Outcasts. And I think it's Dr. Feelgood, but I can't see through stand aside. Sugar Daddy now. And now we're in official timeout.
No, that is Ninja Please. He's got the 88, not the 986. It's hard to see on the jerseys from here.
He was actually totally obscured by stand aside when I looked.
Yes, well, stand aside is rather tall.
Stand aside the pivot there. He comes down from Canada. Puget Sound Outcasts all taking that knee, forcing the immediate second whistle for the note pack. Biggie Tall's now in the back working with stand aside and Mo Diesel Thunderstruck. Quadzilla gonna try to power his way around Magnum Eats Pie. Quadzilla. Oh, nice work there by Quadzilla. We are gonna have lead jammer though, that's number 8, Ninja Please. Quadzilla though, right behind him. No, although there's 9 minutes, 2 seconds left on this clock, I wonder, you know, just running down the time, if that's advantageous for Dallas at this point. They are only, you know, around 40 points behind. So we'll see how that time then comes into play as we go into the rest of the first period, 8 minutes and 41 seconds, and into the second period. Rye Rod number 14, the star for the Outcasts. And pack play for, we're gonna get an illegal procedure, intentional fourth minor for Dallas Deception blocker. Nice takedown to the infield on Dr. Feelgood, 986. He's gonna juke to the ref, try to get around Radilak. Radilak just lays him out to the center of the track with a shoulder check. Radilak then moves way back. Oh, also a huge takeout on Ryrod on turn 4. Dr. Feelgood is actually in front of Ryrod.
Yeah, so Ryrod's going to take that opportunity to call the jam. I think Dr. Feelgood was waiting to see what the situation was, how he could read it out. But yeah, Ryrod just called it. Let's start a new jam. And that's going to be Ninja Please lining up, facing off against Speed Dealer.
Magnum eats pie, working the center of the pack there for the Dallas Deception with Dick Diamond. Currently 2 blockers sitting in the penalty box for the Dallas Deception. There's the second whistle to start that jam right off. Speed Dealer going to try to go on the inside. He actually gets shut down by Magnum Eats Pie 314. Comes back and
down goes Ninja Please, kind of slides a baseball slide. Speed Dealer's out of the pack first. He's going to get lead jammer for Puget Sound.
Nice job at the front of the pack by Earl McDonald as he forces out.
Oh, beautiful toe stop work by Earl Slick. Also, that other name you said. I told him I wouldn't call him that. Ninja Please up the inside. And number 68, Dick Diamond, forcing Speed Dealer into the infield.
6 minutes, 39 seconds left on the first period clock. 68-21 in favor of the Puget Sound Outcasts currently. If you are at home once this is over, because this is the last bout of this evening, until tomorrow, tune into 88.1 KDHX today to hear real DJs playing music you won't hear anywhere else, and stream it all online at kdhx.org. Independent music plays here.
All right, and we have Rhino wearing the Jam Star once again for the Dallas Deception.
That's Scott Slamilton 10.0. He tries to skirt around Bulk Brogan at the front of the pack. He gets forced to the infield.
We got a lead jammer. It's going to go to Rhino in the Dallas Deception in red and black. 21 on the board for Dallas, 68 for Puget. 5 minutes and 45 seconds left on the clock in the first period.
Scott Slamilton, threw on his initial pass. He's now encroaching on the back of the pack to go on a scoring run. He is going to put points on the scoreboard. That's going to bring the score up for the Outcasts.
Wow.
72.
Why, look at that score. It surely went up.
I know.
By 4 points.
Instead of backwards.
Well, you never want to see your score go backwards because that means some serious official timeouts are going on, and then
we haven't seen a lot of that during this bout. It was a much
not in this bout. It's a very tight crew going on here.
And it seems a lot less penalties than the last time the Outcasts were on the track.
Definitely. So we have Dr. Feelgood is jamming again for the Dallas Deception.
Rod putting on the star for the Outcasts. He pulls through right after the straightaway before turn 3, picking up lead jammer status.
He wears that star well, that Rod.
Indeed. Also, again, a phenomenal blocker. He can pull through for both roles pretty easily. He's kind of a go-to guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Quadzilla being forced to the center by Dewey Decimator, number 306, stand aside, being forced out.
Rod trying to watch the track behind him as Earl Slick tries to take out Dr. Feelgood, but Dr. Feelgood stays on his feet. And now Dr. Feelgood and Rod are kind of dancing at the top of the pack. Dr. Feelgood on his toe stops once again.
Yeah.
Those are the no-stop toe stops he's rocking today, Spider. Yeah, I just said that. Sorry, guys.
Rod taking a little bit of risk there, calculated risk, as he takes on the opposing jammer. And you could incur a penalty during those times and risk being sent to the penalty box.
I figure if you're going to calculate something, why not a little calculated risk?
Yeah, there you go. Next time I calculate anything, it's going to be risk. I suddenly feel like a board game nerd.
That's okay. It's allowed.
Thunderstruck number 11.
Yeah, and I believe he's facing off against Uncle Jesse.
Lots of hand signaling there for Bulk Brogan, the front of the pack. Working with Chuck Rydell. Nice movement by Ninja Please. Thunderstruck is trying to parallel his way around Chuck Rydell. He gets taken down on turn 3.
But he did get lead jam status before he got taken down. His hips must have passed the last defending blocker.
Nice working in tandem at the front of the pack.
Oh, nice sideswipe takeout by Beast Jerky.
He was working alongside Ninja Please. They really made him work to get out, though, that second time, because, again, he had that lead jammer status, got knocked down, and then they really made him work to get back out in front. Here we have Radillac taking on Bulk Brogan. Thunderstruck pulls through to put 5 points on the scoreboard for the Outcasts.
23 on the board for Dallas, 77 for Outcast. 2 minutes and 31 seconds before we go to the halftime spider.
Bonus Jonas with a nice little escort there on Uncle Jesse McNasty to the infield. Speed Dealer knocking out Chuck Rydell, number 96 for Dallas Deception. This is now our power jam in favor of Thunderstruck. Thunderstruck is solitary jammer on the track. So 5 more points on the board for the Outcasts. They are going to start out with a fresh jammer. The jammer for Dallas Deception continues to finish out that time in the penalty box. 1 minute, 55 seconds left on the period clock. 87 points for the Outcasts. Dallas sitting at 23. Ringster would like to extend thanks to all of the volunteers.
Oh, yes.
Who tirelessly spend their time to help make the game of roller derby
the amazing sport that it is.
That's absolutely right. Things are only getting better.
Always. You got to admit it's getting better.
And the growth, you know, there's been a lot of discussion about the growth and expansion of the MRDA, and this being the second annual tournament, and they've expanded the amount of teams that are in play.
By 2.
Yes, so instead of 1 day, now it's 2 days.
Which I much prefer, personally.
And every team that came here certainly earned a spot. More and more leagues are looking to become members of Men's Roller Derby Association, previously known as Men's Derby Coalition.
Yeah, the MDC.
You'd have to be an OG.
OG if you know the MDC. It's like in the WFTDA, the ULC.
Wow.
Flashing back to the early 2000s. So I'm looking at everybody. Both teams are looking pretty good on the bench. Everybody's got smiles. I don't think anybody's taking a look at that scoreboard. Nobody looks down about it. You know, Grim Streeper. I keep calling him Jim because that's his given name. He's keeping the bench lively, keep the flow going on Puget Sound. Hi to Streeperella, his lovely wife. Just want to send a little love out to her.
Good call.
Yeah, she's an excellent lady. Jim always sends his love. Grim Streeper.
They actually have a whole derby family. Sans one son, and the son complains that roller derby stole his mom and dad.
Yeah, well, it often steals your soul, so why not your mom and dad, too? So we got one jammer only out there. Scott Slamilton is jamming solo and picked up lead jammer for what is most likely the last jam of this period. Uncle Jesse McNasty is sitting in the penalty box.
Wacko Path is last line of defense for the Dallas Deception. Scotty Slamilton skirts around him near the inside lane. Pack advantage in favor of the Outcasts, and still the jammer for the Deception sitting in the penalty box. Scott Slamilton again, forcing his way around Wacko Path number 12.
Picked up 5 more points for Puget Sound Outcast Derby. PSOD.
Endearingly known as PSOD.
PSOD, I was thinking that. All right, I was incorrect. We are going to have one more jam, of course. Derby announcing 101. You say it, opposite happens.
Yes.
I don't want $1 million.
It's not Murphy's Law, it's announcer's law.
I know, announcer's law is
you
the
say
worst
it.
thing ever.
Oh, there's nobody in the penalty box. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
The entire
penalty box is on fire. There must be like free sandwiches in the penalty box because everybody's eating it up.
There are actually currently just 2 blockers in the penalty box.
Huh. All right, let's see who's jamming out there. Well, we got Frank and Beans jamming once again for Dallas Deception, facing off against number 14. That's Ryrod.
Frank and Beans getting shoved out by Earl McDonald. Earl Slick.
Thank you.
Val Capone just gave me the look of death. She said, "Don't say it again, Spider."
Hush. Shush, you.
Ralac working at the front of the pack with Cougar Bait. Nice push to the infield there on Chuck Rydell. Chuck Rydell then comes out to assist his jammer, Frankenbeans, number 7. Again, forced down straight away by Earl Slick. Nice hit out of bounds there by Chuck Rydell on Ryrod, forcing Ryrod to call off the jam. And that will be the end of the first.
Sure will. We got 23 on the board for Dallas, 115 for Puget. Now, when this game first started, that's not exactly the kind of point differential I was expecting.
No, in fact, it was really, really evenly matched for the first 4 or 5 jams. Things turned around. Puget was leading for a bit, but only by several points. And the Deception were able to turn that around, take the lead. And quickly after that, the Outcasts adjusted their play and then started to rack up the points and making it more difficult for the Deception to put points on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think what Puget started doing, just in my opinion, is that they started putting out jammers that don't need a lot of offense, that are very stealth on their own, because they're also equally good pack players when you look at the Ryrods and the Speed Dealer and the Scott Slamilton. You know, actually every jammer that they played, Hollywood Chuck, you know, Thunderstruck, they're all very good in the pack. So they may not need a lot of offense. So the pack can really concentrate on the defense, because it's not that the jammers for Puget Sound have been scoring such massive there were a few power jams, yes, but it's not that they were scoring so massively each time. It's that they were shutting down the scoring, which is just as important, if not more so, than racking points up on the board. As long as you got one more than the other team, that's all it takes. But if you could shut them down time and time again, you're going to end up with a beautiful point deficit in the favor of PSOD. 23 on the board for Dallas, 115 on the board for PSOD. So at this time, we're going to peace out and go to halftime. And we'll see you in about a few minutes.